This is Nolan Costello, live in New Orleans, Louisiana. Earlier this week, on August 29th, a massive hurricane tore through the U.S., with winds up to 140 miles an hour, stretching across 400 miles. The behemoth destroyed millions of homes and caused more than $100 billion of damage. The levees were breached by tons of water that caused mass flooding. Unluckily, the citizens who weren't able to evacuate the city camped on the roofs of their houses because of the mass flooding. Hundreds of thousands of people in Louisiana, Alabama, and Mississippi were displaced from their homes. When the hurricane hit, it had already been raining heavily for hours. When the storm surged, it overflowed the unstable levees and drainage canals. Water leaked through the soil on some levees, and others were swept away altogether. Nearly 80% of the city was under some water. It's been reported that the Coast Guard has rescued over 34,000 people in New Orleans alone. The federal government was very unprepared for the disaster, and the Federal Emergency Management Agency, otherwise known as FEMA, took days to come up with a plan of action to rescue and do damage control. Thousands of people have nowhere to go. At the Superdome, where supplies had been limited to start, accepted 15,000 more refugees on Monday. Shortly after, they had to lock the doors. City officials have no plans for anyone else in the city. Inside the Superdome, conditions are horrible. People have been pleading for food and water, stepping over the unattended dead, all while rumors of gang rapes, murders, and chaos stirred from the darkness behind them. While the Superdome was a last resort in an emergency, it was never designed to hold refugees during a storm. Conditions worsened every day. After a week, conditions developed into an environment where the strong prey on the weak. No rules, complete anarchy. While the more violent gang rapes have not been verified, many eyewitnesses confirm acts of brutality. Stories from survivors have reported that inside the Superdome, rowdy men demanded more supplies and sold them to the starving majority. People were robbed and killed. Gangs openly battled in fistfights, and even some reports of guns. Captain John Bryson of the New Orleans Police Department said, "I'm not really outraged at the people. 90% of the folks were just reduced to an animal's existence, trying to survive." He also said how he is outraged at being abandoned by their government. "I felt totally helpless," he said. This is Nolan Costello from CNN News, signing off.